Hello, everyone. It's Claudia here with We're Just Two Sisters, and we are going to take a walk through a just lovely little journal that I just completed that I'm calling Notes to Younger Self, a writing journal. And I know we all, have memories and we have wishes and dreams and hopes and fears that we remember from way back that wouldn't it be great to go back in time and actually tell yourself at a younger age some words of wisdom or some advice or some experiences that you've had that could potentially even alter the course of someone's life? So, this journal I specifically created for that purpose and for the purpose of doing a lot of writing. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that. But let's just take a walk around the outside here real quick. This journal is a hardcover book that measures right at 7.5, maybe 7.75 by 5. It has a relatively large spine, right at 2 inches on the spine, a little under. And it has several sewn-in signatures that I will show you. It has this lovely bookmark that is sewn into the spine and quite a bit of dangles here that I'll show you how that is incorporated. The front cover is this darling little girl. There is a picture frame with some really cool floral embellishment there. The background is a sewn-on old greeting card that's been embossed and then sewn. As you can see, the cover itself has some really great textures and some really great contrast there. I've also included this very cool vintage brooch that I just really loved the way that looked on the cover. The cover has 2 pieces of different styles of vintage lace. One that is below, that's underneath the spine, and then one above that is kind of covering up the spine. On the back of this journal, there is another beautiful floral illustration that is sewn on, embossed, and covered with lace. The corners of this journal have these really cool, kind of brassy looking corners. Each one of them is different. And I wanted it to be that way just to make it a little more interesting and unique. So this has a very nice, soft little dainty purple sheer ribbon, which is detachable. So you can choose to use it or use something of your own. And as we start to take a walk through the inside cover, this has so many of things that were just so special to me that I wanted to incorporate in this journal. Again, I know you've probably seen some of my other videos, but this one was a tough one to give up. I've been wanting to create a journal for myself, to write some poetry and some notes to younger self, if you will. And when this one was completed, I really kind of went down that path of, do I put it on the Etsy store or do I keep it for myself? And I did decide to share it on the Etsy shop. So on the inside cover, there's this awesome little pair of boots with the flowers growing out of it. This is the dangle that you saw over the top. And it's just got all kinds of really pretty purple whimsy to it. Some gold and some white there, but mostly just some lovely shades of lilac and purple. Has a little clamp here, as you can see, and that can go virtually anywhere in the journal that you would like to put it as a bookmark. Or what I had it was holding this tiny, tiny little brown bag journal. I came across this little tiny brown bag when I was visiting my family at a restaurant, and actually the silverware came in it. And I said, of course I did, I could make something out of that little brown bag. And I did. So it's a tiny little brown bag journal that on the front has some really great illustrations here. When you open it up, it has a cover to the actual journal pages. As you can see, there's quite a few pages here. The back cover has a little pocket with some just little tiny cards and tags. When you open up the inside, it's made like my other brown bag journals. It folds out quite a bit. There's a pocket here with a few little things. This folds over. This pulls out to reveal a little butterfly card. This folds in and this goes together. And that little tiny journal can be placed anywhere in the writing journal that you would like it to, or you could always, use it for some other purpose. You could give it to someone as a gift, and it's just a little extra something that I thought went so well with this journal that I just wanted to include it. And of course, with these little tiny things, sometimes the bows are a little difficult, and I will put that aside and do that again after a while. So this page I've left blank because I really liked the orchids and the coffee cups. And here's a really pretty pocket that I made out of a library card. And in the pocket, there's this beautiful tag, lots of journaling space on the back. And as I mentioned, I'm actually calling a writing journal. Not that all of them are not, but this one just has such an abundance of places for you to write. And I just really encourage you, if you have your own journal that you've made or that you've purchased, don't be afraid to write in them. Just fill them up with your thoughts. I mean, one day somebody's going to find that and just be so thrilled and intrigued by what you've written. So this really pretty quarter pocket has this lovely embellishment on it, glued on top of some coffee dyed linen. In there's 3 items. There's this really awesome little card of the girl playing the violin. Lots of space on the back. There is a little tag here, a little card. And there's also this piece of stationery that can be tucked in anywhere. And I've taken the liberty of writing a little letter on it. I won't read it to you. I'll let that be a bit of a surprise. And that just tucks in there. As I said, lots and lots of space for adding additional things, for writing down your thoughts. This is a very pretty page. The little belly band holds this tablet or portfolio on the front. There's a lot of little advertisements, little vintage advertisements for different medications and remedies. On the inside, when you open it up, there's a very thick tablet here, probably 20, 30 pages, and a pocket on the side. The pocket on the side has this really lovely card that you could glue something to or decorate in any way that you like. On the back is another band. That band actually holds yet another little piece. That little piece is a folio that has 2 pockets that you can include anything that you would like to in. And that goes down into this little band. And it looks like one of the little pieces here tried to escape. So we'll put him back in there. And this can just slide up through this band and it holds it nice and secure in there. Pretty little half page there, writing space. Here's the beginning of the first signature, the middle of the first signature. Let me just show you that this has 3, 1, 2, 3 fairly large signatures. Has quite a bit of lace on the edging, which I think is always fun. This is a pocket that one of the things I adore is California state poppies. When I was a kid, I used to stop on my way home from school and pick them for my mom and bring them home, a fistful of them. And that always just reminds me of that and brings me a smile. Here's a little folio that goes down into this pocket with these really cool dancers, some tags and little stamps in the corner pocket. When you open it up, it has some vintage fashions for American women, some little tags, a little tablet with some really cool gardening paper, and that little folio can just go right down in here. And as I said, even these are great for writing notes to younger self. If only I could have known. It's an interesting and unusual page. What I've done here is I've created a little half round pocket. And in the half round pocket, I've included a couple of little things. This is a teeny tiny little book, and it's actually glued on to the pocket. You could actually write tiny little things in here, like one word on each page that told a story. There is also in this pocket an old letter. I love the writing. I love old-fashioned handwriting, which I'm sorry to say they just don't teach in school anymore. And this is an interesting half-round little folio, and I've intentionally left it blank inside so that you can use it for whatever purpose you would like to. And it just slips right down in here, kind of hangs over the edge just a little bit, which I like. This can slide in there, and then this has a beautiful little pull with a ribbon there. Lots of blank pages, all different kinds of pages, art paper, craft paper. I make storyboards and then I make copies of them so that I can use them for a variety of different uses. This is a fun little corner pocket. That's a butterfly. In there, there's this tag. It has these lovely ladies here looking at herself as a bride in the mirror. There's ledger paper. There's my own coffee dyed and stencil dyed pages. This is also a little compartment here, a little pocket that you could put something in if you chose to. Like, for example, you could even put this in there. It's a little bit bulky for that, but something that lies flat would fit in there very nicely. This is a band for the side, a cluster band that I have made with some scraps. And I just thought it was super feminine and Victorian. And so I thought that it would go well in this journal. Here is another little band. And you take this one out, and it has some lovely little embellishments and some very vintage lace. And when you open it up, it's a little folio. It has a pocket here or a little slit there that there's some writing space. This can just go down in that little band. On this side, there's a pocket. In the pocket, there's this lovely card with this beautiful lady. Maybe this is a memory of a dance or a date, or maybe even just a dress that you loved very much. And on the back, it has this really pretty design on the craft paper. This is called apothecary paper. I love it. It has kind of a little distinct smell to it. It's not offensive at all. It's just kind of different. And as you can see, the lace is sewn onto the pages. You can see that on the other sides. I like the way that looks. Vintage stationery, my stencil dyed paper. This even has a piece of vintage linen that I have stencil dyed using coffee. And I like how that is in a journal where it's just a piece of cloth, piece of fabric. There is an envelope that you could stash all kinds of things in. It's embellished with this pretty vintage paper doily, some washi tape. Here's some stationery. Again, lots and lots of pages to write on. All different varieties and types and old stationery. And here is a center of the second signature, which I have intentionally left blank so that you could decorate this yourself. You could put a pocket, you could glue some photographs, you could do all kinds of things on that spread in the center of the first signature. There's the other side of that piece of cloth that's so pretty, the other side of the envelope, which again is a place where you can keep precious things. And you know, the purpose of a journal is a place where you can stash all your memories and ticket stubs and letters and so forth, what they call even ephemera, which is, of course, old things that people would typically toss but become keepsakes. This is a slit pocket, and I really love this because it kind of tells the story of notes to younger self. I mean, you could just a note to say, you could pick one of these and it would say, with deepest sympathy. And you could create a story about something that made you very sad for someone, or someone that you felt needed to be reminded of how much they were loved during a difficult time. And you could take this little card and you could glue it onto the page and tell your story. I call this an inspiration pocket because it does just that. If you chose one, it says my favorite memories. And again, you could go to a blank page and you could glue this on, or even put it in a pocket and tell a story that pertains to that card. So there's a lot of these that you could do so with, even these little ones, just because. Lots and lots of potential here for inspiration. Here's a lovely little pocket that sits on top of a very pretty cloth piece of ribbon. There's a pocket within a pocket. It has this beautiful illustration here that I've covered on the back with some fabric. And in this little tiny pocket here, there's a little card that just slips right down in here. On the other side, the flip side of this, there's a small little slit pocket with a butterfly. And then this butterfly folio kind of hangs over the edge, as you can see, and looks really great when it's inside the pocket. And it flips up. And when you flip it up, in the pocket, there's yet another little tablet folio with lots of space to write. Kind of bound on the side with some vintage coffee dyed linen. Then it has this little account ledger with lots of pages that you could tell stories on. And this folio nicely slips right down into that little pocket, and you can see the butterfly really well. Pretty stationery. Another one of the pages that I like to make and then copy and continue to use them. It's interesting how you can make a page with even doilies and lace and overlay with some flower stickers and sheet music behind it, a little bit of writing, and then take a copy of it and use that design for other purposes. This is a really fun little pocket. I did not put anything in it, but you certainly could use that for putting things in. So let's say that you had a tag that you really loved and you wanted to put that in, or a letter, or even a little tablet. I will probably add something to that before I list it on the Etsy store, just because I like them to be complete. This is a pretty pocket that, again, is made up of a lot of different elements. There's some vintage sheet music. This is sewn on all the way around. A little floor embellishment there, as well as a little basket of flowers and a page out of an old book that talks about different types of flowers. In there's this little tag that is very vintage, best wishes, and some kind of shiny gold paper, and then this little card with the floral design on it. You'll see several of those in here. I had a page of them, and I used several of them in this journal. I loved this little illustration with the little mice. Looks like they're eating blueberries or some kind of little berries. Again, lots of writing space. The center of the third signature, there is a fairly large folio that slides down into this cloth-covered pocket. This folio is kind of a nice little piece all in itself. Has this lovely illustration on the front. It has a vintage paper doily. It is sewn in signature. And this is lots of different kinds of paper. There's calendars, there's ledgers, there's graph paper, all kinds of different paper, and intentionally left blank to create a large amount of writing space. There's a pocket here that talks about the separated lover. In that, there's this little stamped card, as well as this little piece of paper here that again creates great writing space for you. And on the back, there is also a pocket that has several cool little things in it. Your face is never out of my mind. How about some palm reading? And this lovely little die cut card that you could use for another purpose if you chose to. And then on the back is, of course, the other side of the doily. This one should be fairly easy to just slip over the top and just pull that down. Fix that up a little bit better before I put it away. And again, this can slide right down into that corner pocket. Although it is kind of thick, it's in a spot in the center signature where it doesn't create a significant amount of bulk. This is an interesting one as well. So here we untie the ribbon and open this up, and you could write all kinds of fun things in here, and then just close it up, tie the ribbon, and it just kind of creates a fun little hidden place to record and write and share. So that's kind of fun. This is a circle pocket. You're probably, if you've seen some of my other videos, you're probably familiar with the circle pockets. And this one, I decided to just put a lot of photographs of people having fun, sisters, younger people, children, that I just thought were so beautiful. Little fairy snuck in there. Little wedding party. And as you can see, the circle pocket has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots. And you can arrange these in here any way that you might like, or you can add some different things if that's your preference. Kind of doing this at an awkward angle. Pretty little piece of stationery, and here's another one of those library card pockets. And in this one, I've embellished with some lovely fabric, a beautiful butterfly, a couple of little purple buttons, and 2 tags, one with a dragonfly, and one that just has "Life is Lovely." They have some fun little whimsical yarn on them that hang over the edge. And then the back of the journal has this beautiful pocket that I made that it says, "I have found the one whom my soul loves." It's the Song of Solomon. Has this cute little card in the pocket. The little blue ribbon hangs over the top, and it has this little tag here on the bottom. And then on the back, as you saw, is the very pretty illustration. Oh, let me show you the bookmark. So this bookmark is attached at the top behind the sewn in spine. So it's not going to go anywhere, but it's meant to just take it anywhere and use it to mark a page. So if you just lay it in here as so, then it will become the bookmark for that page. You can put it, anywhere that you would like it to go, and it'll close nicely, and it also hangs out a little bit at the bottom, which creates a nice texture as well. So just to reiterate on the little clamp, so once you decide what you want to clamp with it, then you can use it anywhere in the book. You can clamp something of your own to it. I had it clamping on just this little tiny brown bag journal, and it just goes like so over the edge. And then when you close the book, it hangs over the top, and all of this can kind of drape down and dangle down and be so pretty. So anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I will be honest with you, not keeping this one, sorry, was a little bit of a struggle for me because I just loved it so much. It's so me, and it's so feminine and dainty and strong and sturdy, and it has all the elements that I love of a bit of Victorian flair. So I hope that you enjoyed it. It's going to be available on the Etsy shop, Boohoo, and that's www.we'rejusttwosisters.etsy.com. That's We're Just Two Sisters with the number 2. And I hope you've also enjoyed it for a little bit of inspiration that you perhaps might want to make your own notes to younger self. So thank you again so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day.